Hello, hello, everyone. How are you doing today? I hope that you are doing well. So, if you don't know me, I am Erica Knoll, and I help moms in a lot of different areas. And tonight we are going to talk about sleep. And this is something that is a big deal for moms. And it when you're not getting enough sleep, you become overwhelmed, you become exhausted, and then everything else falls apart. So sleep is one of those things that sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes you can't help that you're not getting enough sleep. Sometimes you can. Sometimes you just need help with a little bit of sleep. But sleep is definitely one thing. I know I've gone through seasons, and they are seasons of life where it just never seems to be enough sleep, just never. So I've got a few things today that I've learned along the way to help me, to help even my kids, because when your kids can go to sleep, then you can go to sleep better. And so we are just going to get started. So I'm going to start with a couple of simple things. These are really no-brainers. Exercise. So one thing that helps with sleep is getting enough exercise. And we know that, like, we see our kids, and on days then that they have a lot of exercise, or they've been playing all day with friends or out at parks or whatever, they sleep better. They go to sleep better and they stay asleep better when they have that exercise. Well, it's the same with us. So when we are getting the exercise we need, we will sleep better. We will fall asleep better and stay asleep better just by getting the exercise that our body needs. And so what does that mean? So I would recommend at least a half an hour of exercise a day, preferably an hour, but at least a half an hour. And it doesn't have to be all at once. It can be throughout the day. So if you just take 10 minutes 3 times a day and move, do something to move, go for a walk with your kids. That's a really easy one. Or go up and down your stairs for 10 minutes. Like, there are a lot of little things that you can do depending on what your situation is to help with exercise. One thing I love to do, and I do this 2 times a week, I do Zumba or dance fitness. And that's something I just love to do. I love being social with other people when I'm exercising. And so that is something that I love. I love to dance and I love to be social. And so that dance fitness class is perfect for me. And I actually teach 1 day a week. I've just done it so long that I started teaching, and it's really fun. So that's something that I choose to do. And then on other days, I take walks with my kids and my dog, or do other things. There's so many different things that you can do for exercise, but being intentional about having exercise in your life, even if you can barely stay awake because you didn't have much sleep the night before, you will get better sleep if you exercise. So that would be, so when you're in a place where you're just totally depleted, just go up and down your stairs a few times and call it good, and you will sleep better. Your body just works better when you have that physical exercise. Okay, there's number 1. Number 2, stay hydrated. Now, some people might not think this has anything to do with sleep, but it does. When you are hydrated, you sleep better. If you're dehydrated, especially in the middle of the night when your organs are trying to cleanse and they're trying to regenerate, your body will be uncomfortable if you are not hydrated. You won't sleep as well. You'll toss and turn. Sometimes you will get up to get a drink in the middle of the night if you're dehydrated, but sometimes you won't. Sometimes your body will just be uncomfortable because it needs that water to do the cleansing processes and all of the repair and rejuvenation that happens at nighttime. Okay, so that's number 2, stay hydrated. Number 3, don't skip meals. So there are different thoughts on this. One thing that I advocate for is actually eating, and eating until you're full. Now, eating the right foods is what you need to do. If you're eating the wrong foods, that can be harmful if you're eating too much or too many calories. So don't skip meals because your body needs nutrients, but eat the right foods. And nutrition is another subject altogether, so I'm not going to get into that today. But I will talk about that another time, because the foods that we eat affect our bodies. And with dieting, especially when you're dieting for a little while and then you stop and then you come back to it, and this yo-yo of dieting is really, really difficult for your body to deal with. It's really hard on your body when you're doing those kinds of things. And your body needs a steady stream of nutrients, but the nutrients are what are important. And in the middle of the night, if you haven't had the nutrients that you need to repair and rejuvenate and cleanse, you're going to be uncomfortable. You won't sleep as well. So whether you're skipping meals or not, if you're eating the wrong foods, you can have the same problem. Where you don't have the nutrients you need and your body's uncomfortable, causing tossing and turning or insomnia. So that's one thing to be mindful of. Also, if you're dealing with food addictions because you're eating a lot of fast food or processed food, when you eat those on a regular basis, you will be addicted. So in the middle of the night, your body may say, "Oh my goodness, I need something. I need something." And so if you're finding yourself up in the middle of the night snacky, you've got to realize for yourself that you've got a food addiction going on, because snacking in the middle of the night is not normal, nor does it actually help your body. If you're hungry in the middle of the night, it can be that you didn't eat enough in the day, or that you ate the wrong foods and you're addicted, and so your body needs more. So there are a couple different reasons for being up and snacky in the middle of the night, or just uncomfortable. So foods really do have a lot to do with sleep. Okay, that's number 3. Okay, number 4. I'm just going to call this the ambiance. So noise, light, temperature. We do need it a little bit cooler at night. And so if it's during the summer and everything's really, really hot, a lot of people have trouble sleeping. And the reason is because we need a little cooler temperature at night. So if you can't run your air conditioner, or if it's broken or whatever, you'll be more uncomfortable and less likely to deeply sleep because of the hotter temperature. Also light, we need darkness. And so night lights are actually not a beneficial thing for our bodies, because they interfere with the melatonin, and we need that melatonin. And so darkness is what we need. It's a signal for our bodies to make that melatonin, which then helps us relax and sleep. Also noise. There's a lot of noise going on. Sometimes it's just situational. Say it's the 4th of July and there are a lot of fireworks. Of course, you're not going to sleep very well if you've got that going on. Other times it's other things around us, or if you live in a city and you're not used to the noise. So noise levels also have something to do with sleep. So just the atmosphere and your surroundings. So to make sleep a little bit easier, aside from things that are just one-off things like the 4th of July and noise, you can make your sleeping area, better suited to sleeping. So you can put in darkening curtains if you need to. You can make sure there's not a lot of noise at nighttime. You can lower the temperature when possible. And so those kinds of things you can do to help with the the area that you're sleeping in to help you get a better sleep, to be able to go to sleep and then stay asleep. Also, okay, so that was number 4. Number 5 is a routine. So routine is something that is very, very beneficial, extremely beneficial to have a routine at bedtime. And as moms, as a mom, I know that when I have a routine that goes one after another, after another, after another, my kids get to sleep better. And when something's off in the routine, they don't fall asleep as well. Or when something's off in the routine, sometimes they'll wake up in the middle of the night. And so routines are very, very important for kids, but they're so important for adults as well. Our bodies really thrive on routines. And so a few things, so here are a few tips for routines in the evening. One thing is turn off your phone, turn off the TV, turn off all the media, all the noise and the lights, and let your body feel the silence and the stillness of the evening. I love to read books at nighttime. It's different, completely different than having a screen on, TV, computer, phone. It is different. And you get sleepier with a book, unless it's a real page turner, then it's a problem for me. So it's got to be the right kind of book that's going to help you to relax. So turning off the media, that is one. It's a really, really big one. Actually, blue light that comes from all of those different screens messes with your melatonin, and it just messes with your time clock. And so you will be looking at the screens and you won't feel tired. Your body is tired, but you won't feel tired or sleepy. And so you just stay up later and later and later. And then when you finally turn the screens off, you have a hard time going to sleep because you're overtired and because the blue light messed with your inner clock. So when this becomes a pattern, you can actually reconfigure your inner clock. I'm going to write that down so I can talk about that another time, because that'll take some extra time. Hang on just a second. Okay, sorry, I had to write that down so I wouldn't forget. So we'll talk about that another time. But you can fix that if you've gotten off or you don't feel sleepy when you should be going to bed. You can fix that, but it does take some time. Okay, so turn off all the media, all the blue lights, anything with blue lights, and any lights that have the fluorescent lighting. Get those off in the evening, so that your body can take the signals it needs to then start to relax and feel sleepy. Another thing is sip tea. So chamomile, lavender teas, they're so relaxing for you. There are quite a few different teas. We'll talk about that in a minute. There are quite a few different teas that can help relax the body. Just the warmth is relaxing. And then there are several teas like the chamomile and lavender, and blends. There's a blend of chamomile and lavender that I just love. But those things really help your body to calm down, especially if you've been agitated or it's been a really stressful day. That can be wonderful to be able to sit down with a cup of tea. Another, light stretches or yoga. That's something that's really beneficial in the evening. It can help work out some of the kinks. I know for me, if I've eaten certain foods, I have restless legs. And I know what my food triggers are, and sometimes I eat them anyway. And so one thing that helps me with that, one thing, I do have a couple things that help with that, but one thing that helps is stretching, light stretching. And it's not real intensive stretching, but light stretching before bed. And so if you're restless, if your body's agitated in any way, stretching is actually very beneficial, and it helps your body to relax before bed. And just light. You don't want to do anything heavy before bed. Even exercising before bed is really not the best thing for you. It's better to exercise in the morning or during the day, but in the evening, it revs up your body too much. Okay, another thing is journaling. Sometimes just sitting down with a journal and just letting it flow, stream of consciousness, helps empty your brain so that you don't have to think. You don't have anything else going through your brain. You've gotten it all down on paper. And you can take just a couple minutes, or you can take however long you want. Just stream of consciousness, get those thoughts out on paper. And that can really help your mind to feel some closure on the day. Also expressing gratitude, and you can do that in the journal. You can express gratitude, maybe pick one thing of gratitude for every day, and then do stream of consciousness. I have a couple journals that have that right at the top of the page. What am I grateful for today? And then I can just journal and do whatever. And I really like that, because it helps me focus on the good. It helps me look for that good that I saw in my day. And that makes you feel happy. It makes you feel good when you're focusing on the good. And so that is something that's really, really beneficial in the evening before bed. So focus on the gratitude, journal some things out, whether it's journaling out frustrations or it's journaling out the happy things that happened in the day. It really doesn't matter. Just empty your mind, because we all know that when our mind is worrying and worrying and worrying, we cannot go to sleep. And so journaling is a really beneficial way to help relax and go to sleep. You can use the journal to celebrate what you accomplished during the day, or you can just think about it yourself, or you can share it with your spouse. Or earlier in the day, you can share it with your kids. Think about what you accomplished. Don't focus on the things that you didn't get done, because we all know that to-do list is never, ever, ever done. So focus on the things that you were able to check off. Focus on the things that you did do. Even if you look around your house and you cannot see any evidence of what you did that day, but you know you were busy all day, go back in your mind and see what you did. How many diapers did you change? How many meals did you make? How many kids did you comfort? How many Band-Aids did you put on? How many books did you read with your kids? Some of those, you can't see the evidence of what you did, but celebrate what you did, because there are days when you go through the whole day and you're totally involved in your family and your kids. And at the end of the day, there's no physical evidence that you did anything. And I know there have been times when that's been very discouraging. Don't let it get you down. You are such an important part of your family, and you hold it all together. And celebrate that. Celebrate those little things. Every bottom you wiped, celebrate it. Okay. And then find peace that you did your best. And if you need to pray about this, break out the prayer, because sometimes that's what I need to find peace for the day. And we can look at our day and say, what can I do to make it better next time? But do find peace, somehow find peace that you did your best with what you knew how to do. You did your best. And then anticipate good things for the next day. So focus on the next day. You can go through your mind, maybe the schedule that you have or the activities that you're going to do, or even planning out some things in your mind, and then focus on the day going well. Visualize what it's going to look like. Visualize your happiness and your children's happiness, and anticipate all the good things that will happen, even if it's just anticipating the love in your family or hugs from your kids. Anticipate those good things, because when you're focused on that, you will see those good things. And then you have more to write in your gratitude journal the next night, right? All right. Another thing that you can do, and this really helps me, is put a diffuser on with essential oils. And there are quite a few different essential oils that help with sleep. And so I just have a little bit of a list here. So lavender, ylang ylang, chamomile, peppermint. Now, peppermint is not one that actually helps you sleep necessarily. It's one that can wake you up. However, both peppermint and eucalyptus are really good to clear out the sinuses. So especially if you have allergies or you're a little stuffy for some reason, diffusing or applying or smelling the peppermint and eucalyptus can clear your sinuses, which can then help you sleep. So that's why that's on the list. Also bergamot, sandalwood, cedarwood, marjoram. That one's one that can help keep you asleep once you go to sleep. So putting the marjoram on at bedtime, on, like I like it on my legs. So marjoram or basil on the legs, and then it helps you stay asleep. Clary sage, this is one, especially if you're having a lot of dark thoughts. This is one that can combat that and then help like melt the dark thoughts away so that you can sleep. Vetiver and cedarwood, sandalwood, frankincense, these are all brain oils, and they help the brain to focus and slow down. So if your mind is racing, these are the ones you're going to want. The vetiver especially helps slow down the processing in your brain so that you can focus and rest when your mind is just going crazy. Or when you're unable to focus, if you know what I mean. Valerian is one that's really good to help you sleep well. Copaiba, if you have aches in any way, apply that. And so then there are some blends as well. Stress Away, if you're super stressed out. Peace and Calming, that's one that can help you calm down and find that peace. Rutavala, this one, to me, this one stinks, but it's very effective, very, very effective. Valor, this is also a calming and balancing oil. Tranquil, just the name just makes you, just makes you relax, right? And Dreamcatcher, that's those last ones are blends that are very calming and relaxing blends. So you can diffuse these, you can apply them topically. Some of them you're able to take in a capsule, and they're very beneficial for helping you sleep when nothing else is working. The aromatherapy is fabulous for helping you relax. And even when you have other things that could work, I turn to the essential oils a lot of the times first, because they're so effective. So there are some things to avoid if you want to sleep well. One of those, and I already talked about it, is screens. So the blue light, you want to avoid that at bedtime. And think about this for your kids. So about an hour before bedtime, the screens need to go off. Your body needs that hour of transition for you to be able to fall asleep well. So think about that, be proactive with your kids and make sure screens are off an hour before bedtime. Also avoid caffeine in the evening. I think most people know this because it gets you revved up. And however, even if you're using caffeine during the day, that can affect you at night. So think about it, especially if you're using it throughout the day. Make sure that you stop it early enough. I mean, stop drinking it early enough, or reduce the amount that you're drinking of the caffeine. Alcohol. Now, go figure on this one, right? It makes people pass out when they're drunk, but alcohol can actually prevent you from getting into that deep sleep that's the restorative sleep. You don't get that when you have alcohol induced sleep, or when you have drunk before bedtime, even if you didn't drink too much. It can also make sleep apnea worse. So that also takes away from your sleep. If you have heartburn issues, spicy foods, tomato-based foods in the evening are not a good idea, because that can keep you up at night. Large meals or high fat meals, so think a juicy cheeseburger with bacon on top, you don't want to eat that at night, because the high fat, the high large meals, they trigger production of the acid in your stomach because you need to digest it, right? But you're not supposed to be digesting during the evening. I mean, in the night, you're not supposed to be digesting during that time. What you should be doing is cleansing and restoring and the other processes. So you need to stop eating 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. 3 hours is ideal. Because then the digestive process, the upper digestive process, will be cleared through, and then you have rest. Now, like I said earlier, if you have food addictions, the time when the food clears from your upper digestion is when you're going to start feeling side effects that make you snacky. They make you think that you're hungry. One, because you're missing nutrients because you're not even eating the right foods for those nutrients, and two, because of addiction. And so this is called withdrawal, and it happens after the digestion stops. So that's something to be aware of. Sugar gets you revved up. So sugar in the evening, not a good idea. Sugar pretty much anytime is not the best idea. We should be lowering our sugar intake all around. Chocolate. So chocolate has both sugar and caffeine in it. So not a good thing for the evening time, even at that late meal. But make sure 2 to 3 hours before bedtime, you don't eat anything. Nothing should be eaten after that time. And the caffeine and the sugar both stimulate the nervous system, so you're going, and it will be hard to calm down and sleep. So heavy protein. So these would be mostly animal proteins. They take a lot of energy to digest. So if you're going to eat animal proteins, they're actually better to eat in the morning, because you have that time to digest, and it's not during the cleansing period overnight. And protein contains tyrosine, which actually promotes brain activity. Good in the morning, not so good in the evening. Pizza. Now, pizza isn't fantastic anyway. It's high fat. It's got the tomato sauce, which is acidic if you have indigestion. And so pizza is not a fantastic one to eat either in the evening. Ice cream. A lot of people like their snack of ice cream, especially after the kids go to bed. But this has the high fat, the high sugar, and even if it's fat free, it's got the sugar that keeps you revved up, and you shouldn't be eating right before bed anyway. Cereal and milk. This is another thing that a lot of people snack on in the evening after dinner. I know several people who do that. But it's the sugar and then the fat from the milk. Even if it's fat free, there's actually no such thing as that. Anyway, that's another discussion. But so cereal and milk is, I wouldn't recommend it ever, but not a good thing, especially in the evening. Celery. So here's a vegetable. Vegetables are good, right? But celery is a diuretic. So this is one that helps push the liquid through your body. So it may make you have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. And if you don't want to be getting up in the middle of the night, a diuretic in the evening would not be a good idea. Pasta. Now I'm talking about just the regular pasta. This has simple carbohydrates, which turn to sugars, right? They also activate the fat storage. And so then you have things running through the night to digest those. Whole grains are better, and they don't do the same things in your bodies as the refined grains. So that is a big difference between the whole grains and the refined grains. And like I said, 2 to 3 hours before bed, you don't eat anything, but in the evening, it's not good to eat the refined pasta. Hot peppers, these actually get your blood flowing. Cayenne pepper is known to get you warm. It increases your temperature and it gets your blood flowing. And in the evening, you want cool temperatures. You want your body to cool down. That's part of the process that you go through it during the evening. And you don't want your blood pumping really fast because that makes you have more energy, right? It makes you get up and go and you want to relax. And so that's not a good thing to have in the evening as well. Some things that you do want or that may help with sleep. And these, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're eating these at bedtime. It means that you're eating them, some of them just during the day and some of them at that evening meal, okay? So pumpkin seeds contain tryptophan, and this is one amino acid that actually helps you to relax. It helps maintain nitrogen balance. It helps with normal growth in infants and young children, and it helps make serotonin. So if you want a few things to help you to relax in the evening at that last meal, eat some pumpkin seeds. Really easy. There are several things that have tryptophan. Pumpkin seeds are one of them. Also peanuts. So peanut butter would be another thing that you can eat at that last meal, or a snack even before that meal. And just getting that into your system, it helps to produce what you need at a later time. You don't have to eat this right at bedtime. Also, I know there was one more on my list that had tryptophan. Where'd it go? I lost it. Anyway, there are some meats that have tryptophan, like turkey. And so if you've ever felt really tired after Thanksgiving dinner, that would be why. Not only the heavy meal, but also the tryptophan from the turkey. Okay, so kiwi fruit. Kiwi fruit is one that has vitamin C, and it helps you sleep. So anything that's really high in vitamin C is good to help you fall asleep. Watermelon and tomatoes are also high in vitamin C. They also have lycopene, which helps you fall asleep. Strawberries, vitamin C, but they also have melatonin in them. Go figure. Pineapple increases your melatonin levels. Let's see, what else? Avocado. Avocado has potassium and fiber, which helps you sleep. One thing about fiber is that if you have a very low fiber diet that's full of simple carbohydrates and meats and dairy, that's all low fiber, you will have a harder time sleeping. So get rid of the simple carbohydrates, go for the whole grains and the vegetables and fruits as carbs, and greatly reduce your meat intake. And the best ones, the fewer the legs, the better. So fish, then fowl, then four-legged beasts. So that would be the order of their benefits for your body. And let's see. So the higher the fiber in your diet, the better you will sleep. It goes hand in hand. Tart cherries. I said this a minute ago, but tart cherries actually help regulate your body clock, and they help with that melatonin. And they're very different from something like a Bing cherry. They don't have the same components, so just be aware of that. So tart cherries. Figs have iron. This is one thing that can help with restless legs as well. There are quite a few different things that can help with that. Lettuce, this has lactucin, which helps you relax and go to sleep, and it helps prolong sleep. Go figure. So a salad at bedtime is a good thing. Put some pumpkin seeds on the top, and some tomatoes. And then whole grains, which I just talked about. The reason they actually help with sleep is because they have potassium, calcium, magnesium, and fiber. And so they do help induce sleep. And barley grass is another thing that can help you. It's got the potassium, calcium, magnesium, but it also has gamma aminobutyric acid, which helps with sleep regulation. And that's abbreviated GABA, if you've ever seen that. Almonds and walnuts, these help with melatonin levels. They have magnesium as well. And the walnuts have the fatty acids, the omega-3 fatty acids that give you DHA, which improves serotonin production. Another thing that can help is teas. So in the evening, now the teas are the only thing that are allowed before bed. They don't have anything that would help, that would get your digestion moving too much. So chamomile tea, passion flower tea, magnolia, valerian, and lavender teas, those are some of the best ones. And they have antioxidants. They help reduce anxiety. They actually, passion flower tea has been known to actually reduce the stress chemicals in your body and promote sleepiness. So these warm teas are just the right thing at bedtime to help you wind down, relax, and go to sleep. And then another thing, and this, I never thought of it this way until after I had a friend who experienced this, but I had recommended to her Ningxia Red because of its benefits that I had had. And she started drinking it in the morning and in the afternoon. She was drinking it twice a day. And then she slept better. And that was the only thing she had changed at the time. And she slept better. And Ningxia Red is full of antioxidants, and antioxidants are known to help you sleep better. From the list that I just gave, a lot of those are full of antioxidants, really beneficial for your body for a lot of different reasons. But antioxidants help with that cleansing process in the evening. And you need antioxidants in your body to perform those jobs while you're sleeping. And so giving your body the Ningxia during the day gives you that extra energy boost that you need, but then it also helps you sleep. Just don't drink it at night. I would not recommend that. I do have a friend, and she will laugh because I gave her some Ningxia Red and she drank it in the evening. And then she had a dance party and was just literally dancing because she had so much energy that evening. And so don't drink it in the evening. Drink it in the morning or in the afternoon if you have an afternoon slump. And then look forward to better sleep in the evening. So I hope these things helped you. I know I gave you a lot of different things that you can try, and different things work for different people. So go ahead and try these different things to help you sleep better. And also know that if you're in that stage of life where you're not getting a lot of sleep, you have a nursing infant, or you have littles that get up in the middle of the night, just know that season will pass, and it's hard right now while you're in it, but you can also use the Ningxia Red, man. It's awesome. It's awesome for that stage of life. But it will pass, and keep going, mama. You have got it going on. You are doing a great job. So, all right, that is all that I have for you today. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, pop them in the chat, and I would be happy to talk with you and help you out. So we'll see you next time. Have a great one.